Welcome to the Arcane 7 IP network emulator, also referred to as a WAN emulator or WAN simulator video series on how to use certain features on the Hurricane 7. In this episode, I'm going to talk about the way to change impairment values during an emulation. Specifically, how to set them up so that the impairment values are changing during emulation, but you set it up ahead of time. So right now I have one filter, one link. I'm going to double click on that. And down near the bottom, we have a capability called dynamic. You can have up to 20 different intervals. I'm just going to leave it as the default 4. And at the top, you see there's 4 different stages and with different time intervals. I'll leave the first one at 10. I'll set the next one at 100. I'll set the third one at 66, and I'll set the last one at 100 again. And then I come over and hit these various checkboxes and say I want to do delay, jitter, and drop. And maybe I want to, on fixed delay, I want to increase 10 milliseconds for each of these intervals. Okay, so I put in 10 and 20 so far. I'll put in 30, and then I would put in 40 here. And I would do similar for the jitter and drop. I won't waste your time. We would put in the various values that we wanted. So in the first stage, in the first 10 seconds, we would get 10 milliseconds of delay. In the second stage, in the next 100 seconds, we would do 20 milliseconds of delay, and the third stage has 30, and the fourth stage has 40. And then we hit OK. We'll close it. We'll hit OK for the link, and you can see dynamic is set up on our link. We hit emulation, and that's how you can use the dynamic feature. Besides dynamic, we also have another feature that does similar capabilities where we can change impairment values during an emulation. So let me stop our present test with dynamic. We're going to double click on the link, and we're going to undo dynamic, turn that off, and we're going to come over here to toggle. Okay, toggle has 20 paths, and it can either use a timer or it can use packets. Okay, the timer is a fixed interval for each of the paths, but each path can have a different set of values. Again, I'll do a simple test of 10 milliseconds. I'll go to path 2, and I'll change that to 20. And just as before, I could have different values for each of the different paths. And once I'm ready, and I can choose as many impairments as I want. This is a very simple test of just changing delay, but I can have any group of impairment values for each of the paths. I hit OK, hit OK again. You see toggles now represented in the link. I hit the Go button, and now I'm changing impairment values according to the toggle. So with dynamic and toggle, we give you 2 different ways of being able to change impairment values during emulation, and you can program them ahead of time so you can make a repetitive test and make sure that you cover every scenario that you could ever think of.